Awesome Cardano daily chart. If you're an ADA holder, I know you're liking that chart right there. If you are and you're in this live stream, hit the like on the way in. I appreciate you cruising through, everybody. These are the vibes. These are those old school bull market vibes. You remember the last bull market, whether we're doing Bitcoin live streams, Cardano live streams, crypto's pumping. And here's what's so special about it for me. When I go to like a monthly chart for ADA, we can go to a Bitcoin chart. We can go to a zoomed out Bitcoin chart. This is just the beginning in terms of cycles. And that's exciting. The move, we zoom in, the daily, it's green candles, it's fun. However, you know there's going to be those pullbacks. They come sometimes without warning. So we'll discuss that in this video as well. But I really want to dig into the move that's going on. We're going to dig into the charts, everybody. But first, the massive, bigger deal. This is the bigger deal. And I really mean this, especially as we prepare for the next bull market. This piece of data, this is the bigger deal. It's awesome to see ADA pumping around 53 cents as I do this video, but this is the bigger deal. Let's talk about it. Hit the subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, if you're a replay viewer, I appreciate you replaying. And let's do it. Massive. Cardano breaks into top TVL. Total value locked. Top 10. There it is. Here's what's so massive about it, everybody. And this is what we've been tracking. We have all of these cryptos in the crypto ecosystem. And let me kind of move over. You just see some of these. All of these cryptos in the Cardano ecosystem. This is ground floor. Look at the green. Look at the opportunity that's happening right now. And I say once again, I'll keep saying this throughout this video, we're not even in like the bull market, in my view. We're not even in that post-Bitcoin halving, the 12 to 18 months post-Bitcoin halving bull market. We're not even there yet. This is just stuff coming online most recently. And there's stuff that's not even here yet. There are projects not even here yet. This is what's happening in the Cardano ecosystem. Much of crypto is sleeping on this. We talk about TVL. We talk about total value locked. ADA, Cardano, top 10 right now. And we're just getting started. We're talking about right now, 336 million. See right above my face, 336 million total value locked. As price of ADA increases, this will go parabolic. Cardano is going to be in the top 5 sooner than later, in my view. And this is a huge metric for Cardano, for the ecosystem. I think it proves that what Cardano has in place, the infrastructure that's in place, the fact that it's decentralized and secure, and all of these things that we talk about, and all of these projects are coming online. I think this is setting it in stone now, right? So, and by the way, ADA could dip, we could fall out of top 10, but this is a huge milestone, and I think it's only going to get better as we go into the bull market. And once again, everybody, I don't know about you, when it comes to the Cardano ecosystem coins, I'm extremely hype about it. I feel I got some plays. I'm in some plays, but I feel so underexposed. I still think there's a ton of time. There's going to be retracements. There's going to be dips, but Cardano ecosystem is insane right now. So huge opportunity, such a blessing. And, I really am grateful to kind of have survived. We all survived through this bear market, right? We hustled through, we persevered through. And I don't mean that just for ADA holders. This isn't an ADA thing. This is the entire crypto space. What was endured here. You go back, it wasn't very long ago, we had the FTX Celsius situations, and just moves like this, not just for ADA, even for something like Solana. We've been tracking a lot of Solana lately because it acted as such a good indicator for the ADA move. I'm just happy for everybody holding crypto. XRP, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, ADA. I don't care who you are. The tribalism in crypto, I don't care for it at all. I'm rooting for everybody. And I'm telling you, so this Solana chart, let's pivot to charts now. Let's talk about ADA charts, ADA price, what's going on. The Solana chart truly was just such a little gift in terms of technical analysis, because Solana just broke out sooner, right? And we were using this as a leading indicator. I'm not going to show a clip, but this was a video from October 31st, Solana skyrockets. Cardano holders need to watch this. Leading indicator. And now what's happening? ADA took its time a little bit. We go to the ADA chart, having its own little breakout. Some things I want to discuss, and before we get into ADA USD, and this is the daily, before we look at the 6 hour even, I want to talk about ADA BTC real quick, because when did I do a video? I just did a video last night. And by the way, if you're out there, everybody, we have I think we have almost 1,000 people in here, over 1,000, 177 likes. Smash the like button, everybody. And I just want to genuinely say I appreciate all of you that are here watching, that are in crypto, that support content creators like us. I just want to say I'm genuinely thank you. So when I say hit that like button, it means a lot to me. Your support means a lot. Check this clip out from last night, because what just happened is such a key move in terms of the ADA BTC. Check it, of what kind of move it needs from where it is right now. We're looking at just around a 10 to 11% move against BTC in order for that to happen. So not out of the equation at all. And then the true bullish move that we're really, that 50-week moving average in blue right there. Last night, that was the move we wanted to see. We go to the ADA BTC chart right now. I did not anticipate that we'd break 50 cents overnight, let alone right now we're hovering on 53. Didn't anticipate ADA would test the 50-week moving average on the ADA BTC pair just yet. Obviously, we talked about it last night video. We wanted it to happen. I wanted it to happen because essentially that's the move back here, the very similar move. From a time frame perspective, in case you didn't see the video, here's Bitcoin halving coming up. Here's the last Bitcoin halving. So from a cycle perspective, we're right in the middle of this red rectangle. So this is kind of where we are from a time frame perspective. And ADA made a very similar exit out of the ADA BTC bottom at this time to the 50-week moving average. Now, here's what's crazy about this, and this is what's going to be really exciting to kind of track. We did see a wick right below the 50-week, and ADA fell back down. It's so important to take note of what was happening there at that time, though. Why did ADA dominance fall against BTC so drastically after such a power move? Well, this was COVID coming into play. All markets dipped. Altcoins dipped worse than Bitcoin. Altcoins, for the most part, I would guess, and this ADA chart demonstrates ADA falling against Bitcoin during the COVID dip, right? It lost dominance. Right now, we don't, so far, God willing, nothing crazy happens, but right now we don't have a COVID, right? We don't have this crazy black swan event. And so it will be interesting to see now that ADA is at the 50-week moving average resistance, because I would really call it a resistance. This is a huge macro area for ADA to pivot above this area. Now that it's there with no crazy events going on right now, what happens here? Now, interestingly enough, there could be not a negative event that impacts this chart to the downside. It could actually be a positive event, which would be the Bitcoin spot ETF approval. I don't know, I could be wrong. I think when there's going to be that Bitcoin spot ETF approval, I really have a feeling Bitcoin's just going to have a moment. It's going to have its spotlight moment, and altcoins are probably just going to be chilling, not really doing much, right? And if that's the case, we could see this trickle down, right? So, and again, that's if there's a Bitcoin spot ETF approval, and we are likely weeks away if it's going to happen. January 10th, I believe, is the deadline, and it could happen quick. So that could drastically impact ADA BTC to the downside, at least on the short term. But then altcoins could pump after that, and then we're getting an altcoin pump, right, going into Bitcoin halving. And this is exactly what happened if we look at the charts on the ADA BTC going to last cycle, going into the Bitcoin halving. It might sound ironic, but going into the Bitcoin halving, ADA pumped against Bitcoin. And this was like the beginning of the ADA BTC bull market, right? So that's on the ADA BTC pair. I just want to make note, such a big deal hitting that 50-week moving average. We were just talking about it last night, wondering if it would get there. What did he say? Like a 10 to a 12% move to get there. And it's there now. So huge deal. We're still waiting for the big one, the 20 crossing above the 50. Still have a ways to go for that to happen. but ADA kind of starting at least the process. Let's look at the weekly chart. I just want to point something out, especially if you haven't watched any of my recent videos. The breakout that we're getting out of this pretty macro bottoming, this is like the bear market formation bottom pattern that was given to us. This bear market, last time, very similar type of bottoming out, lower trend line, this lower high type of trend, very similar, but it didn't break out of the trend line until Bitcoin halving. So in case you haven't seen, I think it's important to restate this as we do analysis. It's happening a lot sooner this cycle around. And that says something in terms of just, I think, crypto as a whole, because, Solana's having its breakout. Other altcoins are doing special things. ADA is special for its own reasons. In my opinion, it's doing special things for its own special reasons. I think one of those is what we see right here. This is massive, right? And let me move my chart over a little bit so you can see what chart we're even on. But so yeah, the Cardano ecosystem is playing so much, I think, into the early breakout that we are getting. But I think it's important to note that it's happening. If we go real quick, I just want to point something out on Solana. Solana right now is up 320% from leaving the lower trend line that it left back in around September. Remember, it was like late October, it started having its breakout prior to stuff like ADA. But the lower trend line is what I'm looking at. Lower trend line, exiting lower trend line, about to get the breakout. 320%. If we go to ADA on the daily, here's ADA's formation. And I want to just take ADA kind of exiting. I don't know why that lower trend line's all a mess. Let me can move that up a little bit. But ADA exiting the lower trend line of itself back then, ADA currently up around 122%. So I know there's going to be people that are just like, dude, Dan, see? And I get comments like this all the time. You might be on social media. You see it a lot. Everybody's, my audio sound okay? Somebody said my audio is choppy. I just want to make sure my audio is cool. Hit the like or give me a thumbs up if it's okay. Audio all good. Thanks, Wendell. So a lot of people commenting, Solana has outperformed ADA, and this is why. This is a perfect picture. 320% to the upside, and then you go to ADA chart, 121% to the upside. But here's the thing. Again, Solana made its move sooner. Solana is ahead of the game in terms of breaking out of its pattern, and it's closer to its $80 target, right? It's right below its $80 target. ADA took longer, but it's still a ways away from its 85-cent target, right? Now, if we draw this up, we start seeing, okay, to 85 cents, now we're at 250%. That's a 250% move for ADA, and that's a pivot move. That's not even like a bull market move. ADA is not even at $1 yet, and we're talking about 250% gains. And so ADA is kind of on its own little track, on its own little journey behind things like Solana. But at the end of the day, when you zoom out on an ADA chart and you zoom out on a Solana chart, they're setting up for their bull markets in their own ways, right? And this is a zoomed out Solana, so not as pretty. But they're setting up for their own bull markets in their own ways. But at the end of the day, they're going to take turns. And the same exact thing applies just randomly. I'm just pulling up, here's a Matic chart. Look at Matic. This is Matic BTC, right? And we can pull up Matic. There's Matic USD. Matic kind of lagging, I would say, a little bit. AVAX kind of in the mix, kind of a hybrid between Solana and Cardano in terms of, how soon it's making its breakout. AVAX been doing some work lately as well. But all of these cryptos are just on their own little journey. They're in their own little bullish environment right now, and it's all the setup. This is all happening pre-halving. The thing that makes me most bullish on Cardano is, I say this time and time again, the fact that we're in top 10 is huge. That's going to continue to rise, but it's these projects, all of the Cardano ecosystem and what is happening right now. And we're in this environment. I just want to say this because this is important. I don't talk about it all the time. I'm not like a technical person. I run a recruiting firm. We recruit engineers. We recruit technical people. I'm not technical. The technical aspect of this is important. We're talking about these massive ecosystems exploding. AVAX, Solana, Cardano. If you have this happening and you have people, everyday people interacting with these chains, what is so important? Security is so important. The chain not just to go offline and be paused, to me, that's important. And in the long term, I think that will be noticed and signaled as very important. And Cardano has that. Something like Solana, no hate at all. Solana does not have that at all. And that's the security piece, right? That's the, hey, this thing can just turn offline. It's also, it doesn't have the decentralization piece either, right? It's a very VC driven chain, which is, it's fine. I recruit for startups. Many of them are just heavily backed by VCs. I enjoy the space. I like the space. I get it. But from an investment thesis for me, when I'm looking at all these charts and I'm zoomed out and I'm looking at ecosystems building, for me, it's important to really feel like there's a reliability in terms of the fundamentals, the technicals, right? And Cardano is slower. It's slower to be built, but now the ecosystem is here. I think in the title or the thumbnail or something, I put, I think I put ADA dominance, something about ADA dominance. I think it's in the title. What's the title? Something about ADA dominance. The reason I said that is this. I want to talk about that. And then we're going to zoom in on the charts. We're going to zoom in on the 6 hour and talk about the current move. Looks like ADA is just, wrestling a little bit with 53 cents, doesn't it? Let me go over here and let me go to ETH dominance. So the one thing I just want to point out on this chart, and this relates to ADA dominance, is you see how drastic in the last bear market ETH dominance was to the downside. It fell hard. And then, so that's that bear market back here, right? After that 2017 parabolic run, ETH dominance fell pretty hard. Look what ETH dominance did. This is special for ETH in this bear market. It held its own, everybody. Like, that's props to ETH. And if you go to something, I want to go to, man, I know I have ADA dominance somewhere. Here we go. If we go to ADA dominance didn't do that, right? It didn't hold its own like ETH. Here's the thing that I want to just talk about. This is so big. This right here in the rectangle where ETH held its own, right? First off, ETH in the last bull market, nice dominance move. This was ETH's first DeFi bull market, meaning we look at Cardano and all these new projects launching, look at all these projects launching. This was ETH's first time having something like that. And with all of that value on chain and with all of the adoption that was brought to Ethereum, I think that played a really big role in terms of ETH dominance kind of holding its own. The reason I'm bringing that up for ADA is because right now, this is ADA's. We're getting ready to go into ADA's first bull market, DeFi bull market. We talk about it often. And I don't know when the next bear market will be, right? I'll go to our zoomed out Bitcoin chart. I charted this back in 2018. It's been so good to me. I charted it here. It has been so on pace. It's insane. Say we get a bear market top somewhere around here or bull market top somewhere around here. So let's just call it spring of 2025, right? And then we're entering a bear market. Spring of 2025, we go to ADA dominance chart. Spring of 2025 is like right here. Say it tops out around, let's say it tops out only at like 4% again. It would be great to be higher. We've been anticipating 4% as just a consistent piece of data, non-emotional, non-hype. It's what cycles past have done. That could bring a $400 billion market cap for ADA, which I think is around $11. But let's say it tops out spring. My point being, a pretty long, drawn-out point, spring of 2025, is if we're entering a bear market, I think ADA dominance will mimic what we've seen with ETH dominance, meaning I don't think it'll be as drastic. And that is because of its maturity. That's because of what's happening on chain. And that's because what's simply happening in the ecosystem. And not only just the ecosystem, but just Cardano, it's been around for quite some time now. It's been a consistent top 10. If it finds itself being now, it's been a consistent top 10 by market cap. If it finds itself now being a consistent top 10 by total value locked, game changer for ADA across the board. And I mean that with ADA dominance, I mean that with ADA price, and I mean that with ADA BTC. So, and we can always dig into the ADA BTC Bitcoin dominance narrative, the story playing out there. It's just my view that ADA's right now, it's just been putting in a really nice move at this trend line. We've talked about that a lot recently. So let's dig into the zoomed in. This is a 6 hour. So, and forgive me for, I know there's a lot of you that don't like Solana. I encourage you not to be so triggered by a crypto that you don't like. It's kind of silly. I encourage you to use the data from cryptos that you're not a fan of because it's useful, right? And Solana for me is one of those. So I'm going to use Solana a little bit for the shorter term technical analysis, but here's a 6 hour move. I said, I think in last night's video, I was just like, we hit a 45-cent target, and check out the resistance at the target, by the way. A brief pause of consolidation, just so nice. Technical analysis perspective, just such a nice move. It's what we see often. We hit a target, it just cools off. It either comes back down or it cools off before continuation. Thankfully, we got the continuation. But I said last night, I'm kind of like, I think what we were at, like 46 cents when I did the video. If ADA keeps going, I'm just kind of, I don't really have targets on the short term. On this chart, I'm just enjoying the ride right now. That's when we get into moves like this, I enjoy the ride. When we have pieces of structure like this, I wait for targets, I track targets, I anticipate them and stuff like that. And that's what we were doing. But now we're continuing to the upside. We have not much structure. I'm just enjoying the ride. And for me, that's okay. I don't need a target, right? I'm not really making any moves other than, I do a little just for fun. And I don't encourage people to do this, just for fun. I do a little trading, mess around with some leverage here and there, stuff that I can afford to lose. But besides that, I'm not like sitting here, I need this target to be hit. It's not like that for me. So the reason I mentioned Solana is because if we go to, I'm going to zoom in on the daily chart on Cardano real quick because we need it. Just look at that power move. And by the way, we're overbought once again, and it's good to consider retracements, pullbacks, consolidation, whatever. If you're out there and you think this is just going to keep going and we're going to $1, green candle after green candle, be very careful, because I've been doing these videos for almost 6 years, and many of you all out there know what I'm talking about. Like, the pullbacks happen. I love this comment. I have to pull it out. We have no targets. We have no targets. In the short term, we really just don't have, I just don't have a target. I really just don't. But I'm gonna explain why that is right now. But 85 cents is an actual target. That's more of a little bit longer term target. We'll have a target soon after some consolidation, but let's talk about it. Let's bring Solana over. Here's Solana on the daily. So Solana broke out of its big pattern, $80 target, all that good stuff. And you can see along the way, and this is just a really good example. It's not just Solana. This is just how cryptos trade a lot of the time. You'll see them just make a really nice power move. Everybody's tweeting, everybody's going crazy. And then all of a sudden, it'll start forming a little bit of structure. A lot of times in bull environments, you can go look at a Bitcoin bull market chart. We get higher highs, higher lows, these rising channels. A lot of people become bearish on them, and they're kind of like, man, we're going to fall. And it just breakout after breakout after breakout. But even these little pieces of structure that occur while, sometime after a big power move is happening, that's what I'm waiting for on ADA. If you go to the ADA daily chart, it's like there hasn't been like a moment to just chill for a second. Even as I do this video, it hasn't even, I thought actually as I went live, it was just going to start kind of chilling out. But even right now, it just hasn't. And so waiting for a little bit of a pause, a little bit of just even a little sideways to create some type of new channel, that's what I'm waiting for before even identifying short-term targets. But it's a matter of, okay, well, when is that going to happen? The thing I wanted to point out on Solana, which is really nice and consistent, is the 20-day moving average in green. That green line that you see, it's that area where, whether it's Solana, Cardano, Bitcoin, whatever, whenever we're getting overextension from these moving averages, we want to see it pull into the moving averages, even if it's going to keep going higher. How does it pull in? It pulls in by just sideways, getting closer once again, right? Gets overextended, pulls in again. This visualization is so useful in getting a grasp. It's so useful in understanding how the markets move. It's so useful in telling the story. Like, it's not just going to keep going up. Because again, when things get overextended, as ADA is right now, that's when we start getting consolidation. We're talking 30+% overextended from the 20-day moving average. So again, pulling into the moving averages, and it looks different, right? This is one way, sideways. It's the best way, in my view, for continuation, which is to say sideways into the 20 and then up. But it also happens sometimes where it's just like out of nowhere, boom, just straight back down. So in my mind, for downside, I'm always just aware of, and I'm not saying I think in one day we're just going to hit the 20-day at 40 cents, but I'm always aware of where the 20-day is. Because if you can anticipate just the 20-day being pulled into ADA, if ADA were to start dipping, maybe the next few days, it could be a 15, 20% move as the 20 days being drawn up into it for ADA to trickle back down into it. And then right there, we have a piece of structure forming. And when I say I have no targets, that's what I mean. I'm just, for me as a macro person, I don't need to be on the 6 hour. Like, I need to know. I'm not on the 1 hour being like, I need to know what the next target is. For me, I'm a macro person. I like to know if there's a dip, what's that look like? And it's still not even that bearish. It's bullish. Like, and that's this 15, 20% dip could just be a higher low for ADA. And I'll digress from that a little bit. And I'll even say, at the end of the day, if we're sticking to the unemotional rules of technical analysis, we get a breakout out of a trend line. Doesn't matter if it's on the daily, a 6 hour pattern, or a huge weekly bullish move. When we get a breakout out of a trend line, it doesn't always happen, but it's such a good idea to always anticipate throwbacks. And that's like 32 cents. People think I'm crazy for probably even mentioning that that's a possibility, but I'm telling everybody it's a possibility. And that's not me saying I think it's going to happen, but I like to, in my mind, know that it's possible, especially just from a technical perspective. A move like that's possible. Again, this move that's happening very early in terms of what was happening at this time last cycle. At this time last cycle, ADA was falling still, right? So the move is happening early. There could be consolidation before the Bitcoin halving and before the true bull market starts. But either way, I want to just mention something that makes that so bullish. That might not happen, by the way, right? The consolidation could look way different. It could be sideways. And this is something that's going to be fun to track. But what makes it so bullish is now we have this breakout, we have a lot of cushion to the downside to even revisit the upper trend line, a very common technical move. That's like 35% dip. That's insane. For the amount of bullishness that's happening in crypto right now, to have that cushion, I think is really good on the macro for me. And that's all this is, everybody. It's me tracking my journey as just like a macro investor. And I think the zoomed out is looking really nice on ADA. But all in all, and I want to say this because I know there's a lot of ADA holders out there that I think are vibing with this. And maybe you're not like a big Cardano holder in the Cardano ecosystem, and that's cool too. This is what has a lot of people excited. It's the fact that I can actually do like, let's just go 7 day, right? If we just organize it by 7 day gains, Cardano moving is cool, right? We were just evaluating on the daily chart, we were just like, hey, ADA left its lower trend line back here. Man, this screen keeps, it's because I have to keep moving it over. ADA left the lower trend line. It's up 121%. It's looking good, man. That's true. It is. For a macro, that's an amazing move. But this is what gets people excited that are in Cardano ecosystem. These are 7-day charts. We're talking about like that ADA chart zoomed out took quite a while to see 100+%. Here's a 7-day, 278%, 227%, 143, 119, 113. And I just want to say, again, this isn't me trying to sound hopium or overhyped. It's truly, I think, just the beginning. It really is just the beginning. You look at the total market caps of some of these, and they're very low. And a lot of them are good projects that are building right now. So that's what gets people excited in the Cardano ecosystem. I just want to mention that because I think a lot of people are like, man, ADA's up only 100%. Solana's up 300%. Well, number one, Cardano's tracking behind Solana. But number two, it's more than just ADA. It's more than just ADA. There's a lot of other stuff going on here. So I really wanted to point that out. Everybody, are you bullish out there? We got almost 2,000 people in here. Help me get to 1,000 likes. I just want to see how you all are feeling out there. I need to take a little break. Are you look at this. We got Cardano with Paul in the house. So much potential building on Cardano. It's so true. Paul, it's so true. Paul is one of the builders. Good to see you, buddy. Interesting comment. We're topping out for the year. I see comments like that, and I don't get triggered at all. I really don't. I think there's such a potential for that, and you all know me, I'm not a hype channel at all. So I enjoy data like that to at least test, right? And if you're going to say it's topped out for the year, there's absolutely a case for that. Absolutely. Look at ADA on the weekly. I mean, it's in overbought. There's room to go. In terms of if we go to Solana, for instance, I just keep using it as an example. It's just a really nice example for multiple pieces of data. Solana hung out and overbought for a while, kept going higher. So there's the case ADA could repeat if ADA is going to do what Solana did in hanging out and overbought. But at the same time, everybody, it's in overbought. This move came early this year. There might be time for consolidation. I think as I'm doing this video, I mean, we're evaluating a 6-hour, very zoomed in move right now. Like this is all happening right now. It's hard to just sit here and say, it's done for the year, pack it up. You know, it's not going any higher. I think that's tough to say, especially because there is room. There is room for the upside, but the case is there where it could be topped out. We could come back down. We could be sideways. It really could be. I mean, and by the way, there's only a few weeks left in the year, so it's not like somebody said $3 by January. $3 by January. If we got $3 by January, I don't even know what I would do. I'll do a 24-hour live stream. Y'all are awesome, man. It's just cool. Whether you hold ADA, whether you're out there holding XRP, Solana, it's just good to see everybody winning, everybody enjoying some green candles, some gains. It's a brutal bear market, so it's been fun to start getting signs of an exit, right? A pivot. So hopefully, you know, we continue to get good things. Spot Bitcoin ETF, the Coinbase SEC case, I'm telling you, that is such a big deal. I'm confident that Judge Fila is going to realize. I think she has her doubts about the SEC, but I think she'll also realize that the law is on crypto's side, Coinbase's side. The law is certainly not on SEC side. So I'm hoping for some wins, right? Some big wins in the shorter term too. These aren't things I don't think we'll have to wait that long for. If we get those wins, everybody, this could be the most crazy bull market that we've seen. And that's gonna be fun. It really is. So we'll see. Thanks for the super chat, Chris. Appreciate you. Typically, money is flowed from Bitcoin to alts. With ETFs, won't that be just like buying a stock in Bitcoin, like the S&P 500? So how do ETFs help alts? One way, so I think the way that I think about it that makes it simple for me to understand that question without diving into the technicals is a Bitcoin spot ETF approval is the green light to institutions. It's the green light to pretty much trillions of dollars entering into the space, right? And the narrative alone, that's a green light to the entire cryptocurrency space. Bitcoin spot ETF, Bitcoin is the go-to. It's the number one. It's the first one. There's going to be an Ethereum spot ETF, right? I'll venture to say there's going to be a Cardano ETF. It's just the fact that this trigger is being pulled. This opens a whole new, just brand new floodgates for the entire space for a huge amount of money to come in. But it's not, the thing about it for me is it's not just the money. It's truly the narrative. It's truly, after years and years and years of crypto fighting, or, just you just saw Elizabeth Warren. That was the masses of people saying that stuff. Jamie Dimon, Elizabeth Warren recently basically saying, got to shut it down, got to shut crypto down. They're using all this like false data, saying it's used for, in such high levels for all this illegal activity. Their data is so wrong. But that was the masses saying that just a few years ago. That whole thing, that whole narrative is turning now. You turn on CNBC, it's like the anchors on CNBC are bullish. You have BlackRock bullish, right? We're entering into that phase. And that's where the big money is, and entering the crypto space. The narrative that pushes crypto up, I think, is what makes it. Besides just the money that's flowing in, it's the narrative that is going to drive markets so high. So, Jordan, what's up? I appreciate the super chat. No question, just showing up and sharing the love. Love right back at you, bro. I hope you're doing good. God bless you. Thank you for the super chat. I was going to say the Saturday morning super chat. It feels like Saturday, but it's Friday. So, everybody, I appreciate each and every one of you. Emily, thanks for the super chat. Shout out. Shout out. I really appreciate all of you guys. I hope you have a good start to your Friday. Have a good weekend. It's been a nice ADA pump. I think we covered a lot. We'll just keep tracking what's going on. A lot of other things to cover in crypto, Bitcoin, Cardano ecosystem, everything else. So please, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe, turn notifications on, get notified of these videos. I appreciate it. And one last word. I feel encouraged to say this to anybody out there. I woke up to a friendly reminder, a message from somebody that I don't remember exactly what they said actually exactly, but the theme of it was, God is good. I wake up, I look at the phone, ADA's pumping, and it kind of is like, man, that's my first thought. ADA pumping, that's awesome. Check the portfolio, get up. But when I zoom out of these charts, I'm telling you, the real joy, the hype of it that lasts, right? It's Jesus Christ. And I just want to say that to all of you right now, because that's what gets me going. That's what revs me up. That's what pushes me through. We continue to track ADA price. The opportunity here for us is something I say I'm grateful for. That's why. But there's so much more, everybody. I just wanted to put that out there. I appreciate all of you guys. I hope you have a good start to your weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.